3, 2, 1, go!
You are now tapped into the greatest Unlocking Levels. Hosted by CL the Source. This is episode 4. Lessons from Rock Bottom. Now let's go ahead and unlock some levels, y'all. Let's go. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Unlocking Levels with CL the Source. I'm your boy CL the Source, and you're back on the couch, as you can see if you're watching the video format of this podcast episode. Thank you once again for tuning in. It's been a hell of a ride up to this point, and I know it's just going to get even better and wavier for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to bringing you guys more great content. And in today's episode, I'm definitely going to be touching on some heavy stuff aimed with the intention of helping you unlock levels of potential in yourself. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I mentioned that you see me on the couch. If you listen to the audio format, you can't quite see the visuals, but changing the format up a little bit, just kind of getting into my element. You're seeing me in my natural habitat, just kind of in a comfortable space, but at the same time, just in my bag, in my zone, ready to just kind of hit you guys with some gems and some hard-hitting material to help you, again, unlock those levels of potential in yourself. So with that being said, today's episode is going to be focused on a lot of things that I've talked about in the past, and we're going to go ahead and take the opportunity now to unpack that even further. You know, if you have been following the podcast for a while, you've known I've shared some very detailed kind of instances and moments in my life, and you know, that weren't the easiest, you know what I'm saying, that were actually challenging, but also very much character building moments. So before I even continue forward, I just to give you a little bit of backstory as to why I named this title of the episode, Lessons from Rock Bottom, is because I kind of came to the realization recently when I think I was stuck in traffic or something like that, and I had somewhere to be, and then I was just like, I found myself getting agitated, getting mad, as many of us do. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, why am I getting agitated? It's because I was stuck in traffic. I put myself in a situation where now I could potentially be late for where I was supposed to be, and traffic was just moving super slow. So I allowed myself to get agitated. I allowed myself to lose my cool. And I just came to the realization that in moments like that happen pretty often in my life, I'm always rushing to get to that next space and not really fully respecting the present moment. Even though it's like an undesirable moment like traffic, right? Nobody wants to be stuck in traffic. But it's about the mindset. I caught myself just like, why am I letting this piss me off? Why am I letting this anger me when I have no control over it? And the little control that I did have over it, which might have been leaving the house earlier or just planning more better, maybe it's I can't do nothing about it now. I'm in the situation. I got to deal with it. And maybe one could say that is dealing with it, you know, and just kind of like erupting and getting mad and allowing it to agitate me. But for myself, I'm working on just improving every day, understanding why things trigger me, why things make me mad, and when they do, what can I do to prevent myself from going off course like that, you know what I'm saying? But either way, I'm going to tie that into today's episode because I think a lot of times in life, I can speak for myself personally, when I was in situations where I put myself in harm's way, or when I was sick, or when I was going through something really difficult or challenging, I was always like, oh man, please get me to this next space. Please, like, take me out of here. Please, like, I was like praying to God, like, to put me in a better place, you know, and I was just trying to fast forward during those moments, you know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, when we're going through some things that are outside of our comfort zone, that are challenging to our health that obviously are undesirable, of course, that's the natural kind of feeling that you want to do, is just move on to the next, right? Like, put this behind you and get yourself to a better place. Like, but at the same time, when you do that, you risk missing the lesson in why everything has unfolded the way it's unfolded. When you're in a rush all the time, when you're always trying to turn the page to the next, you're leaving a lot on the table, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Potentially, you know? And I think gradually as you evolve, you're able to kind of like process things faster, and you know, you can kind of move from point A to point B to point C a lot quicker. I hope I'm making sense. I hope that y'all following me on this so far. But the reason why I named this Lessons from the Bottom, Lessons from Rock Bottom, excuse me, is because I think back to my time when I had cancer, and during those moments, I had a lot of time to myself. I had a lot of time to reflect. I made a lot of promises to myself that I was going to do better, that I was going to be better, that I was going to stay away from certain things, and, you know, just change my whole life around, right? Because at that point, all I wanted was my health back. All I wanted was to be able to live my life again. But prior to that, I was living recklessly. I didn't value my life. I didn't value those that loved me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't value the blessings that I had in my life. And I put myself in that hospital bed. And in doing so, and I'm in the hospital bed, in these moments of reflection, thinking to myself, like, how did I get here? It was me. I maybe didn't realize at the time, you know, like I was going by what the doctor told me and said that, you know, it was a genetic type of disease that I picked up, you know, cancer. So the type of cancer I had was stage 2 lymphoma. I had a big tumor above my heart that had to be removed surgically. And then I underwent chemotherapy in and out of the hospital for over a year. And during that time, not only did I have a lot of time for reflection, but I also had a lot of love being sent my way. You know, it helped me realize just how many people were in my corner. And it wasn't only my life I was fighting for. I was fighting for my life because not only did I want to live, but I didn't want to put any more hurt on my loved ones than I've already done by putting myself in this hospital bed. And again, like the doctor told me, it was like a genetics type of thing, and I probably got it from my grandpa and this, that, and the third, but I personally believe I put myself in that hospital bed. I put myself on the doorstep on death's doorstep. And by all the poor choices I was making, by putting poisons and toxins in my body left and right, not treating myself right, not eating healthy, not getting the proper amount of rest, and just living recklessly. You know what I'm saying? Prior to that moment, I could have died so many other times. You know what I'm saying? I really could have. Like, I've been in car accidents, I've been shot at, I've been in fights, I've drank myself stupid, did a shit ton of drugs where I didn't even know where these drugs came from. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, I was doing a lot of foolish ass shit, and you know, looking back at it, it was definitely stupid. Of course, you're not thinking that during the time being. I'm a youngster. I had my own reasons for why I was doing what I was doing, but I'm not even gonna go that far back. It is what it is. I put myself in a hospital bed, and I remember, even though it was like the course of a whole year, I remember I was like, why me? Like, I just want to get out of this situation and into a better space in my life if it was in God's plan, you know. And for me, I just look back at that time of like just wanting to get past it so fast, right? And who can blame me, right? Who could blame anybody that's in a hospital bed of just wanting to get to the next level? But had I not had that time to slow down and make time for introspection and ask myself some hard questions and look at my life and be brutally honest and you know, have my health challenged to the point where I'm questioning things and I'm making promises to myself and to God that, like, if I get to a better place, I'm gonna do better. Had I not gotten to that place, like, I probably wouldn't be as aware as I am right now. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't understand life as I understand it now, because actually I take that back. I would not. I absolutely would not understand life as I do now had I not had gone through that stuff. So it was necessary in my life. It was just a part of what I was dealt with. And I don't even look at it as a bad thing, because for me, I'm just thankful I survived it. I'm thankful that I'm still here. And I'm thankful that it put me into a space right now where I understand what my purpose is. I understand what I want to do with my life and how I want to use my story to inspire and to motivate and to help other people and just make an impact on the world before my time is up, ultimately, right? So I remember sitting in that bed, like moments when I was sitting in that bed in the hospital where I had time to myself, and I was just thinking, I was in a depressed state, and there were moments where I was like, man, please just let me get past this. I just want to get past this, but I made all these promises, and then guess what? Real talk. Once I finally got out that hospital bed and they released me from chemotherapy and everything like that, I made all these promises, and I was good for a while, for probably about 10 months to a year. I was good. I was clean. I wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing better. I was getting my strength back. And then guess what? Not too long after, I fell into the same shit. Started drinking again. Started doing drugs, going out, spending money, putting myself in harm's way. Just living reckless again. Like I didn't just go through something crazy in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that, I was like, what the fuck? And I made all these promises. And although I feel like I learned a lesson now, at the age I'm at right now, looking back at it, and just for y'all information, I've been in remission for about 12, 13 years, maybe more than that. My cousin could tell you more, because she always texts me and let me know when it's my anniversary since I've been in remission, so she'll have more information. But it's just a time in my life that I only visit for certain purposes, and in today's purpose, why I'm even sharing it with y'all is because that was my rock bottom. That was absolutely my rock bottom. Going through cancer was my rock bottom. Surviving everything that I went through during those times was my rock bottom. Not only was I going through cancer, and I'm gonna be fully transparent with y'all, man, I had gambling problems for sure. I was online gambling during that time. I was, taking my money for granted. I was just in a bad way. Not only was I trying to fight cancer, but I was trying to fight my demons of addiction. You know what I'm saying? And I got knocked out plenty of times during that stretch of time. But thankfully, I'm out where I'm at right now, and sitting here recording this podcast, being able to talk to you, and being able to connect and create a platform for myself to share my story to inspire other people. But it wasn't even something I envisioned to do. I didn't care about my life. But those moments at rock bottom taught me so much. It taught me not to take shit for granted. Now, I didn't learn it. Like, I've established before that I'm the type of guy that has to learn and fall on my ass multiple times for me to actually pick something up. Or I used to be that guy. Now I tend to process things a little bit more quicker, right? Not necessarily quicker, but more thoroughly. And with that, I can make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? I have more clarity because I've cultivated this inner peace that I have within myself. I've forgiven myself for a lot of different things. I don't hold grudges over myself or with anybody else. It's just like I've lifted myself into a better place and pushed all that other bullshit away from me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really need none of that bullshit, but it's always going to follow me. So I have to kind of understand it for what it is and use it for moments like this where I can extract a lesson from those rock bottom moments. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, again, that cancer situation was absolutely my rock bottom. Surviving cancer was my rock bottom. And those lessons taught me a lot about life. It taught me not to take things for granted. It taught me who was really in my corner, how many people actually really love me. Not to take my time for granted. I met so many people over the course of that time other patients, they told me their story. They weren't as fortunate as me. Some people didn't even have no family. You know what I'm saying? I had family. Some people were older than me, way older than me, and didn't really have much of a chance to beat what they were fighting. The doctors told me they were confident that, because I think I got cancer when I was like 22, 23 years old, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 24. And doc said I had a good chance of beating it. But some of the people I met, they weren't so lucky. You know, I don't know where they are right now, but I was able to have a lot of conversations during those times. I met some nurses that were just angels, honestly. Some people that were just meant to be doing the work that they're doing, because they helped me so much, and the doctors helped me so much in those times of need, in those times of distress and pain and suffering. But so I'm just really thankful. And again, there's so much to be learned in moments of rock bottom, and I just found myself, of course, just trying to get out of it, right? But I couldn't get out of it. That was my rock bottom. It was like I was in and out of the hospital over a year, and when I was at home, I could barely do anything because, you know, when you're going through chemotherapy, it weakens you. It zaps all your energy. You know what I'm saying? And you get your immune system's affected, so you're more susceptible to catching other sicknesses like the common cold. Like when you're actually going through chemotherapy, the common cold could actually be something that can take your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in such a weakened state. But the idea about going through chemotherapy is for the chemo to do its work in knocking me down, because my body's resilient enough to build itself back up stronger. And that's how magnificent our bodies are. So it was just a constant continuation process of just going through chemotherapy and having that knock me down and make me weak, and then my body giving it time to just regenerate and build itself back up stronger. And you know, in those moments, golly, I mean, I'm visiting that space right now as I'm kind of just talking to y'all, and that shit was not easy, to say the least, to put it in a nice way. It was not easy. Those that were there with me know how much I was struggling, and they were struggling with me. My loved ones was there with me, and I'm just so grateful. And you know, in those moments, so much is revealed to you. And if we're just constantly speeding up to get to the next thing, you're gonna miss those lessons. And I think at that time, because I was younger, I was just trying to get to the next place in my life, right? Like I was trying to get out of that situation and into a better one, right? So I made all these promises in exchange to get my health back, basically. And I did, but I ended up reverting back to my old ways, doing the same shit that I was doing that led me into that hospital bed. You know what I'm saying? And then I was doing that for a long period of time too. And I can't even tell you why. Well, now I can, because I realized I didn't value myself. I didn't truly value myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't care about my life. You know what I'm saying? I was just living to die at that point. Like I didn't care. Nothing mattered to me. Like, yeah, I knew people loved me and things of that nature. Like, but I didn't care. I mean, I cared, but not enough to obviously take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? And I was just addicted, and I was just addicted to having a good time. I was addicted to the validation of like going out and being the life of the party, being the social butterfly that I am. And I just realized, like, now looking back at it, how just dangerous I was, man. But again, had I not had gone through that stuff, I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at right now. This person you see before you, I can honestly look you dead in the eye and tell you that I'm a different person. Like, I really have committed myself to something different, to the highest elevation of myself, to just wanting to see how far my potential can actually take me, and believing in myself so much to the point that I can break generational curses. I got goals, I got visions, I got dreams, and if I want them to manifest and come to life, I have to be a certain type of way. And I never want to be back in a hospital bed. So that's another huge reason why I take care of myself. So I hope you see what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even trying to tell you this story just so that like y'all know more about me. It's not even about me. Why I'm trying to be transparent about this story is because I want to be able to share it with you so that you can extract something of it and recognize if you're in a tough situation, if you're in a tough spot, just stay there for a little bit. But stay there and try to realize what's going on. Try to find the lesson. Search for the meaning in the suffering. Search for what life is trying to teach you so that you never have to go through this again. Or if you ever go through it again, you'll be prepared. So in my moment of rock bottom, again, I'm just trying to breeze through. I'm just trying to get out of that situation, right? And I made all these promises, but I didn't learn the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't learn the lesson. Now, I realize the importance of taking things slower. Even if I'm in a situation like I mentioned earlier, like in traffic, I can't do nothing about it. I put myself in a situation, I might as well make the most of it, or like pay attention to what's going on and not just try to distract myself, you know what I'm saying? And really just kind of appreciate the moment, even though you in traffic, right? And there, I look back at it right now, and this just came to me right now, but in those moments, like when I was going through cancer, it wasn't all bad. I clearly just told y'all, like, I met some real great people in those hospital beds. They told me their stories. I learned a lot from them. I recognized so much more people that loved me, that wanted me to keep fighting and wanted me to keep living. So that made me understand. I think that helped push me towards my understanding of my purpose more. I also had some great moments with my family during those times. And my family that's watching this, they know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was with me damn near every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they definitely was in my mind and in my heart every single day. You know what I'm saying? And couldn't have got through without my loved ones, my family, my friends, the people that just showed love. So many people came to my aid to help me, you know, during that stretch of my life. And I'm just grateful, honestly. So it wasn't all bad. It was there was actually some real great times, some very funny moments that I have, and probably some inside jokes that I have with a lot of people in my life. But you know, I can only realize that right now because during that time of my life, again, I'm just trying to get to the next part. I'm just trying to pass this all up and turn the page. And then for the longest time, I never wanted to talk about it. I would never even revisit it in my mind because it was such a dark time in my life. It was such a hard, challenging time in my life, painful, full of suffering. So why would I want to revisit that? Now, my argument against myself with that is you want to revisit that so you can extract the lessons. So if you're watching this, again, just to kind of clarify, I ain't saying this to you so that you don't, I am saying this to you because I want you to understand if you're going through a tough time, first of all, it's not going to last forever. And second of all, when you're in that moment in time, when you're going through a tough time, take a pause, man. Chill for a bit. Sit down, collect yourself. Try to understand why things are happening the way they're happening. What is life trying to teach you? And when you can do that, you become better from it. You unlock another level in your potential. Because not only did you survive what you're going to be going through, but you took something away from it as well. You took something that's going to help elevate yourself moving forward. You unlock the level. So I think it's important, instead of just always trying to rush through things and get to the next, we need to slow down. Like, I realize it in myself, and I still have the tendency to move fast and operate fast, right? But I'm realizing more and more just how important it is to slow down, because what we all in a rush for? What we all in a rush for? Well, we trying to rush to get to our deathbed, because that's what's happening. The more we disrespect the moment that we have in front of us, because now is all that we ever have. You know, the future is predicated on what we have now. The past is the past. Now is all we ever have. Now is the moment that never ends. You've heard me say this before. So, how are we using our now? How are we using our time? Are we using it on bullshit? Teach their own. I ain't trying to knock nobody, but I would just say, wherever you at in life, just appreciate the moments that you get, because you just don't know what can happen. I recently had a scare, just to be fully transparent with you guys like I always do. I recently had a scare. My dog, he's old now. He's about to be 15 years old. My dog Barkley, who I love dearly. Everybody that knows me personally knows how much I love my dog Barkley, and he's about to be 15 years old, and you know, he's going blind right now, and he's struggling, and you know, we had a bit of a scare, and it still could happen anytime. He ain't out the woods yet, but you know, my brother had mentioned to me that he wasn't doing so well, and we needed to we needed to kind of just like collect ourselves and, you know, see how the process played out. But it led me down a path of realization of just that life really is precious. Life is here today and gone tomorrow, and we take it for granted. I very much take it for granted sometimes, like thinking that I'm gonna automatically wake up tomorrow and be able to do the things that I want to do, or I say I'm gonna do, and I just take time for granted. I try my very best not to do that no more, and I try to live in the moment as much as possible, because nothing in this life is guaranteed, you know. So these realizations don't happen if we're always trying to get to that next thing in our life. You know what I'm saying? We're not appreciating this time that we have right now, which is all we ever have. You know, so I think that's the biggest thing I want y'all to take away from this is, when you're going through anything that's difficult, challenging, or you're even at rock bottom, make sure you sit there for a little bit. As the fucking storm is going on, sit there, raise your level of awareness, go within yourself, and try to figure out, why is this happening? What is this teaching me? What is this trying to teach me? How can I use this to help make me a stronger person, a better person? And how can I use this to help me understand life more? So with that being said, thank you so much for allowing me to be transparent with y'all and share my story. It's not always easy being able to kind of talk about my personal life like that and put it out on the table, you know, because that time in my life was a very, very dark time, for sure. And I, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really share it that much because, first of all, I don't really want anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not what I'm trying to accomplish here. It's more so because when I visit it, it's tough on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I realize how hard of a time in my life that was. But now, the person you see before you, I could actually look at that time and be like, damn, and realize, damn, I really survived that shit. That shit's dope. And I'm here sitting before you today, talking about it openly in hopes of inspiring and motivating somebody, right? Like, and sharing the lessons that I learned from that. And that's what unlocking levels is about, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I'm helping y'all unlock levels, it's because I've unlocked levels in myself. And I promise you, every level you at, there's always a new one. So stay unlocking levels, y'all. Stay tapped in with your boy CL. If you're rocking with me, man, you know, please Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this podcast wherever you can. It'll help us grow so much more. I got great visions for this thing, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And just trying to make the world a better place while I'm alive, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that this helps, and I appreciate the love and support. And till next time, y'all, peace and love.